Hi, it's Nicole here from Birth Into Being Australia. I wanted to talk to you today about meeting your demons. And sometimes how scary that can be is directly related to how much relief is there on the other side of that particular demon. I am an active seeker myself, so I know what it's like to be constantly in exploration and a place of challenge around that. I don't like to kind of sit still for long in relation to my own edges. And so I'm actively working with that within myself as well as with the Birth Into Being method. And this year, in August, along with Elena Tanetti-Vladimirova, the founder of the Birth Into Being method, I'm going to be holding space in the workshop in Germany. It's a 16-day facilitator training. You don't need to go for the entire 16 days, and you don't need to be wanting to be a facilitator for it to be relevant to you. So coming back to what I was talking about, meeting your demons, way back when I was first in contact with this work, Elena was introducing a process called the family. The family. It's quite ominous, even just the title of it. And as she explained and introduced the process, I felt a sense of rising panic. I was getting quite triggered just at the very thought of going back to some of the places in my past where I had lost power, where I had been, deeply wounded, and revisiting that time and reenacting the situation with a bunch of different players and a bunch of different intentions. And there's a lot more to it than that, but I'll keep it brief. I felt this sense of rising panic. I got the sense of a sort of lead weight in my belly, a constricted chest. My breathing became shallow. And I was scared. Just hearing the description of the process made me feel fear and a physical sense of terror at going back there to some of those, quite deep and primal wounds that I had experienced at the hands of my loving family. And some of them were really, some of the things that happened, they were very well intentioned, but it's just that, my experience of them as a young child was very different to the intentions of the adults. So that sensation of fear and terror can be a complete indicator that this is exactly where you need to go. And that on the other side of that fear and terror lies complete transformation of those wounds and an incredible sense of ease. And that was my experience when I, got over all of that and eventually had the opportunity to work on my process with a team of beautiful, loving people who held me deeply in a space of great love. And, it was just absolutely beautiful. I'm eternally grateful to those people. They occupy a very special place in my heart. And that's often the case in workshops, isn't it? The people that we meet and the supportive community that hold us for this transformation. And then we may never even see them again. But there they are, having helped you to transition over into a completely new way of being. But what happened for me was that a lot of the stuff that I'd been holding on to and the ways of interacting, the patterns that had developed between myself and other family members due to that wounding that I was carrying and that they may not even have been aware of the impact of their actions, was released. And that's really beneficial because, in certain circumstances, and in my case with that particular story and that particular family member, I can't leave them for dust. I mean, I could if I was really, really pressed, but only at the expense of other relationships. And I didn't particularly want to do that. I didn't, want to end a whole bunch of relationships just because one was really painful and difficult. So, that terror and that pain that I felt approaching that inner work was indicative of the amount of clearing and freedom and ease that has awaited me on the other side. And that was 10 years ago now, or over 10 years ago. So, I can really get a sense of the longevity of how these processes can really help us to free the confines of our being and step forward out into the world in a whole new way. So, I would love to share this work with you, and I know Elena would too. So I'm going to put the link a little bit further in the email below to the training, and if you are interested in coming along, please let us know sooner rather than later. I'm not sure if I mentioned that you don't have to come for 16 full days in order to get benefit from this work. We are accepting people for 2 days, and then anything after that. You can book in for 2 days, see how you go, and continue to extend. Although, of course, it's a very international group, and you may need to come from overseas as well, considering it's in Germany. We are open for extensions as you go along. We know that it can be intimidating, and it's a huge commitment of your time and energy to be there. So lots of love to you all. Please respond to this email if there's anything that you need to ask about or that you wish to express. Many blessings.